Hey babe, what's up, bro? What's up, friend? What's up? What's up? What's up? You already got the mess, so you already know what's up. We gonna talk, in depth. I'm gonna let you know why my week was very rough. You know what I'm saying? And that week is rough every year for me. Okay, so that's just to give you a little context. But anyway, hope you having a good Friday, friend. Yeah, hope you're having a good Friday. It's been a very, very, very long week, so I'm just trying to, I actually wound up getting on the wrong train, um, and it derailed me. I had to take like an alternative route. The alternative route wound up taking so long. Like I was so aggravated. Oh my goodness. Like, oh my goodness. Normally I'm so happy coming home from work. You know what I mean? I'm so excited that it's the weekend. Not that I, do anything for the most part besides, basic things, laundry or cleaning up or some sort of chore. Um, and that's pretty much it. I don't go to the club. I don't go to the bar. I don't go to people's houses and play cards and all that type of stuff. Maybe I'm too old, or maybe that's just not me. Perhaps a combination of both. But anyway, I'm gonna turn my camera on because I want to talk my shit. So, um, so yeah, I got on the wrong train. Everything was messed up. So, like I said, the everything was just derailed, and I was like, oh my goodness, I just wanna go home. I don't know who knows about that, or can really relate to that. When it doesn't matter, like, even if you're on a long journey, short journey, whatever, when it's time to go home, you just want to go home. You don't want to be like, you don't want anything to stand in your way. When you ready to go home, you want to go home. Like me personally, I've been working since I'm 19. I'm 45, right? So over 20 years I've worked, been working. And I was never the type of person that likes to kind of kick it around the job. Pardon me. After work is over, I'm milling around and kind of lingering, and they're like, "Oh, why weren't you off an hour?" Like, oh my goodness, honestly. And like I said, I got my first job at 19 years old. So, and it was a full time job, okay? And I mean, from the very, very beginning, I just never was one of those people that once you get off, like I said, they're lingering around, and you like, dang, like it's almost time for the next coworker to go home, probably a different shift, and they still see this coworker lingering around. It's like, dude, like, hey girl, oh, I thought you been off. Oh no, listen, to each his own. New life, raw evolution. There's no judgment over here. Well, yeah, there's no judgment over here. There's opinions over here. Um, there's ideas over here. Um, there's philosophical um, teachings and understandings, and um, yeah, we're intellectually, um, I would say, advanced. I would consider myself to be um, an intellectual, and I would fancy many of my subscribers to be, kind of, we may not be like Harvard graduates, but I mean, I believe my audience are relatively smart people, you know. Anyway, so you just want to get home. So finally, I get, I arrive, not home, but to my destination, which home is home, me arriving. Anyway, so then, I'm going to keep it all the way at 1,000. I mean, I'm an adult. So it's Friday. Perfect time. Let me stop in the wine and spirits store and pick up, a nice adult beverage, to kind of just relax for the evening, the wind down for the week. Um, And so the guy, the store guy, the service guy, whatever, he happened to be of another race. He was of an Indian race, probably a Punjab or um, Pakistani, one of those guys. And listen, I'm not judging. All I'm doing is giving my experience, okay? But I've had experiences with these people, with um, our brothers and sisters from Pakistan, our brothers and sisters from Mumbai, India, or all over India. And I mean, knowing them, living, being born and raised in Brooklyn in 1980, okay, seeing an influx in like the late 80s, early 90s of our Indian brothers and sisters. Um, they came with their stereotypes. Yeah, as do everybody that comes to this country, America. You know, we're like, and it's sad. It's sad. It's depressing. It's really frustrating, and it's just quite unfortunate that that is the overall, pardon me, perspective that every nationality that comes over to America, us graham crackers, black people, we're always at the bottom of the list. Why? 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 Is it the stigmatization of colonialism? That's what you want to say. Okay, that was so 100 years ago. Now what else is going on? Oh, it's oh, affirmative action, or the Civil Rights Act, which was never made a law, and it's here's a good one. Oh, every race received reparations but us. But look what you graham crackers do when you do get a little wealth. Not everyone, obviously, but the majority. What do you do? What do you do? You equate that somehow with like your self-esteem. And that's strange. I mean, listen, friends, I'm not going to sit here and pinpoint and peck at us. Listen, everybody else does, so I don't need to do it. But, friends, I mean, obviously, every ethnicity, um, every person of every nationality. Listen, nobody's perfect. We still are all divine souls. However, um, yes, we are different. We are the same on a divine source level, but individually, we all have our quirks and our challenges and our strengths and, our weaknesses, all those things, right? But there's still so much disconnection. There's just still so much like remedial damage that's been done. There's so much destruction. And so, I mean, the narrative continues. And so I say all of that to say, so this Indian man that worked in the wine and spirit store was a little rude with me. And I just let him know, listen, I'm a teacher. So at the end of the day, like, I'm a professional. What I'm not going to do is, like, bust you upside your head or curse you. No, I'm not going to do that. Because guess what? The next graham cracker like me, yeah, they're going to be a gram like me, but they're not going to be of my adab. Shout out to all of the Akis, all of the Musalinas, yeah, Musalimas, yeah. Shout out to all the Akis. Shout out to all of actually everybody. Shout out to the, listen, whatever you are, shout out to you. Um, but at the end of the day, pardon me, friends, give me 1 second. Hey, friends, just give me 1 second. I'm just kind of taking care of a technical issue. But yeah, so at the end of the day, it's unfortunately, it's a very negative perception that, especially being born and raised in a city like New York, okay, um, especially being raised. I mean, obviously, y'all know it's the melting pot, and so I've had experiences with every nationality, and have witnessed. I'm not saying experiences like me personally, but knowledge, right? Experiences, right? And experience doesn't always come from, you personally and the situation. You have friends, you have family, you read, you're educated, right? So you gain much knowledge, okay, about facts and events and issues and subject matter and all that stuff. Not necessarily because you went through it all, but because you consider yourself an educated person, and so yada yada yada. But anywho, but this has been a very strong belief for many non-American people, and the crazy thing about it is that um, brown people that are not of American descent, they have that same uh, feeling, that same sentiment. They feel like we are nothing. I mean, it's so despicable. But then, many times more than not, we show our unsavory behinds. And guess what? We perpetuate. No, we don't perpetuate. We do. We do what they accuse us of doing. We think the way they accuse us of thinking. We act the way they say that we act. And obviously, Grams, I'm not talking to every Gram in the world. Duh. I know that every Gram, every black person, okay, is not uncouth, is not a thug, is not a snapping fingers, neck, and oh yeah, girl. No, okay. Um, and so I mean, anyway, friends, I digress. This is not even the purpose of my live tonight, this evening. And by the way, friends, I haven't even given you friends a proper greeting. Y'all already know what it is. It's New Life Revolution. I'm your divine feminine. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday, friends. We're alive and we're still standing. Yeah, shout out to my Virgo sister from another Mr. Gone but not forgotten, Miss Amy Winehouse. Yeah, shout out to my sister from another Mr. Amy Winehouse, Miss Amy Winehouse. Gone but never forgotten. Gone from the 3D plane, but spirit is so strong that, you know, that star shines brighter now than evermore. than ever before. Anyway, shout out to all my Virgos. Yeah, it's still Virgo season. Yeah, shout out to all of my Virgos. My B-Day was uh, last Sunday. And I'm just so ecstatic. Um, yeah, it was it last Saturday. Wow, 45 is hitting different. Darn. I gotta go get me some glucosamine, or I gotta get me some. I gotta get me some good brain food supplements and all that type of stuff. No, I'm kidding, friends. I got it covered. Anyway, friends, but it saddens me. But I mean, on a bigger scale, like, let me just get back to the story with the rude Indian storekeeper in the wine and spirit shop. Was very rude, and I told him, I said, listen, I'm a teacher, and so at the end of the day, like, I'm not gonna do that with you, but you need to be very careful, because the next person that looks like me, they're probably not gonna be of me, meaning my energy. And what you will get is the stereotype that you have stereotyped. That's what you're going to get. You say hooligan, you say thug, you say whatever. That's what you're going to get. And so people got to be very careful in this time, friends. People have to be very, very careful with their actions and their words. Believe that. Do you friends remember back? I mean, I don't know who I'm talking to, your age demographic, but I would like to address everybody that was born in 1980 or going back. Do you remember? I would even go as far as like 83. After that, I would say even 84. That's it. That's where it stops. George Orwell. Yeah, 1984. And you want to know the question to the answer to 1984 is 1776. Yeah. Yeah. Rebellion to tyranny is obedience to God. Yeah. Shout out to all of my conscious ones on the check-in. All of my conscious ones that will tap in. All of the conscious souls that will just gravitate or somehow be energetically pulled into this live, or will see this at a later time. Shout out to you. It's all about timing, right, friends? We already know. Yeah, because you could be in a right place, right? Everything right, right energy, everything, but it's the wrong time, right? Yes. And so that's the, those are the mysteries of life. And so, but it's all good. I mean, I love it nevertheless. Anyway, friends, so I just gave the brother, the Ritz Cracker brother, because guess what? Indians, Asians, everybody that's not Anglo-Saxon, Caucasian, they're Ritz Crackers. So our Latino friends, our South Pacific friends, our the Indian friends are literally Grams. They're literally brown people. They're Grams. So our Ritz Crackers would be more like, again, our Latino brothers and sisters, our Asian brother and sisters, okay? Like I said, South Pacific brothers and sisters. Yeah. And so that's it. Our Native American, Native Indian brothers and sisters, Ritz. Okay? So now we get to the saltine crackers. Yeah, saltine. That's everything in Europe, Germany. Yeah, I would say everything in Europe. Everything within Europe. Everything within America that is not of those Ritz crackers or graham crackers. You are a saltine. Okay? So that's it, friends. Your girl, New Life for Evolution. I just broke down society in 3 short and simple terms. Graham crackers. Oh, yeah, I gotta call us first because we were first. That part, let's get to that. Uh, our Ritz crackers, our Latino and Central America, South America, and Asia. Yeah, those are our Ritz and Grams. Yeah, Africa and India. Yeah, and everything that's brown. That's it, friends. Let's get to that. I'm gonna smoke my ciggy off camera. It's weird. Like, I remember a time when you could smoke on the train, and you know, I remember 80, maybe 83, 84. I was only about 3.5, 4 year old, but I remember, my grandma taking me out to, we went somewhere on a train. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was the LIRR, which is the Long Island Railroad, or I don't know if it was like New Jersey Transit. Like I said, I was only 3.5 to 4 year old, but I do know that you were able to smoke on those trains. And so I would like to know in what year was smoking banned from subway trains and from buses, because I also remember that people were smoking on the bus as well. I mean, that's a little foggy. I mean, I might be reaching, but I'm sure the train. But I'm going to look into both, either way. Hi, friends. I mean, I don't even want to show y'all my Newport, my 1,000. Yeah. And so, anyway, friends, I wanted to read him for those that don't know Ebonics. I wanted to give him a piece of my mind. Well, that's figurative language. Yeah, but I didn't match his energy, because a lot of people like me, myself, being a Gram, I've seen how we have responded to the very blatant bias and disrespectful behavior that many times our Indian brothers and sisters, they display to us. They they act out toward us, and it's not good. And so, I mean, ultimately, friends, we have to remember one factor: we all are divine souls, regardless. And see, I never understood that. I never knew that. Listen, it's called an awakening for a reason. Higher consciousness is just not a term or a cool catchphrase that I throw out. No. Higher consciousness comes with a higher, like an understanding and a higher tolerance. Because when you know, you know. And so we all are divine, literally. Good, bad, fat, pretty, short, tall, skinny, gay, straight, whatever you are, we still all are divine souls. We all were still created from divine source. And so how we meander through this thing called life, that's one thing, right? Yes. But one thing's for sure and two's for certain is that the very, I would say the very foundational fact is that we are divine souls. That is what we need to build our foundations on. Knowing. I say to myself, wow, I'm 45 years old. Imagine if I had known this knowledge when I was 25. OMG. Are you kidding me? Like, imagine the change, the impact, just the, ways in which my life would be maybe perhaps so different. Perhaps. But I don't look at my life through that lens. I look at my life through a lens of being very present. So I don't really give, a lot of energy to the past. Um, I acknowledge the past, right? Every so now and then nostalgia calls, and I may find myself, you know, having a past experience, or not having a past experience, but maybe feeling the feelings, or uh, what have you, of a past experience. And it's good, it's bad, it's neither. Okay, fine. Life moves on, right? But honestly, I feel like the past is to be like a catalyst. It's not really to be so much a part of your present. I believe that the past is supposed to be like your blueprint, if you will, or at least your floor plan, right? Your schematic, um, checklist, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, like I said, the past serves a purpose whereby, you learn, and that is supposed to be your, um, kind of like your rudimentary, foundational understanding of life. And then, because that's where you find yourself making all the mistakes, all of the bad choices, all of, what have you, maybe you experience some of your best times and joys in the past. Maybe you're a person that looks at the past, with a little envy, with a little melancholy, because you feel like, darn, maybe your life you felt was better at a certain point before now. It's so tricky, but I say this to say, friends, that listen, no, 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 no. You're looking at it through the wrong lens. And I feel that may be why you may be resentful. That may be a reason that you may be feeling very discontented. That may be, that may be a factor in you being temperamental, maybe having this defeatist mentality. Maybe for some of you, friends, can even be self-sabotaging yourself because of the past. And so the past is never a guide to the future. Get that out the door. No. If anybody told you that, that's low vibe. That's very unintelligent. Okay. Anyway, friends, I'm gonna leave y'all with that right there. The purpose of this live, friends, was to come to you. My live is, listen, they're talking about uh the jobs, like 90% of jobs being gone in less than 2 years. That's less than 2 years. We're a little over 3 months away from a new year. So you're talking about a year and like 3-4 months tops, that you have experts saying AI is really gonna go ham on the whole job force. It's getting really spooky, friends. I'm bringing y'all the news. Y'all already know. It's your girl. Yeah, New Life Raw Evolution. Our purpose and sole mission is to engage and raise the consciousness of the collective. Shout out to all of my friends that will see this live, my subscribers, divine souls. We're here. Divine feminine, divine masculines. We are here. My higher conscious ones, yeah. My semi-conscious ones, yeah. My emerging conscious ones, yeah. Let's be the glitch that we want to see in the matrix. All right, friends. I'm going to play some audio. Well, actually, it's not an audio. It's a video. And friends, listen, I'm going to cite the source right now. I mean, I am, a master teacher, darling. So, I know that it's so important to cite your sources. No, I'm kidding, y'all. But I'm going to cite the source. So the source is a diary of a CEO, YouTuber. Okay. And the name of the video is these are the only 5 jobs that will remain in 2030. My bad, friends. One was saying 2027, one was saying 2030. Either way, you're talking about 2 to 3 years. It's still given, uh, you know, 3 to 4 years, 2 to 4 years. It's still given very much like alarm. But yeah, so it's this fella, Dr. Roman Yampolsky. Yeah, Dr. Roman Yampolsky. Yeah, Dr. Roman Yampolsky. 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 Dr. Roman Yampolsky. Okay, these are the only 5 jobs that will remain in 2030. All right, friends, I'm going to play the video, but you guys and gals are just going to hear the audio. Okay, I'm playing the video on my end, but you guys and girls are going to hear the audio. Shout out to everybody on the live. Happy Friday, friends. We're here. We're alive. We're still standing. Divine blessings, love, peace, abundance to everyone that will see this live. Thank you, friends, for tuning in. Let's get into what Dr. Roman Yampolsky is talking about with AI taking a lot of jobs, y'all. Okay, listen up.
Dr. Roman Yampolsky is a globally recognized voice on AI safety and associate professor of computer science.
He educates people on the terrifying truth of AI
and
what we need to do to save humanity.
In 2 years, the capability to replace most humans in most occupations will come very quickly. And then in 5 years, we're looking at a world where we have levels of unemployment we never seen before. Not talking about 10%, but 99%. And that's without superintelligence, a system smarter than all humans in all domains. So it would be better than us at making new AI. But it's worse than that. We don't know how to make it safe. And yet we still have the smartest people in the world competing to win the race to superintelligence.
But what do you make of people like Sam Altman's journey with AI?
So a decade ago, we published guardrails for how to do AI right. They violated every single one. And he's gambling 8 billion lives on getting richer and more powerful. So I guess some people want to go to Mars, others want to control the universe. But it doesn't matter who builds it. The moment you switch to superintelligence, we will most likely regret it terribly.
They want to go to Mars so they can control the universe. These people are sick. These people are godless, soulless, divineless,
there is a lot of
nothing.
agreement on this. And this
All
is
they
what we
care
should be
about
doing it, so we
is
don't shut it
total
down.
world domination. Shout out
I
to
see messages
New
all the
Life
time in the
Revolution.
comment
We are the
section that
resistance.
some of you didn't
Let's
realise you
listen
didn't
in,
subscribe.
friends, to
So
the content.
if you could do me a favour and
Dr.
double check if
Roman
you're subscribed to this
Pelosi.
channel, that would be tremendously
Yeah.
appreciated. It's the
These
simple,
are the
it's the free
5
thing
only
that anybody that
jobs
watches the show for
that
free
will
can do to help
remain
us
in
here to keep
2030.
everything going in this
Listen
show
up,
in the
friends.
trajectory it's on.
This
So
is higher
please do double
consciousness.
check if you subscribed.
Thank
and
y'all for
thank
being
you so
here.
much.
Please
Because there's strange where
subscribe
you
to my
are,
channel
you're part of our
for more
history.
videos like this.
And you're on this journey with
Stay
us, and I
tuned,
appreciate you for
friends.
that. So
Listen
thank
in.
you.
This is what they'll never show you on
Roman
mainstream
Yampolsky.
media.
What is the mission that you're currently on? Because it's quite clear to me that you are on a bit of a mission, and you've been on this mission for, I think, the part of 2 decades at least.
I'm hoping to make sure that superintelligence we are creating right now does not kill everyone.
Give me some context on that statement, because it's quite a shocking statement.
Sure. So the last decade, we actually figured out how to make artificial intelligence better. Turns out, if you add more compute, more data, it just kind of becomes smarter. And so now, smartest people in the world, billions of dollars, all going to create the best possible superintelligence we can. Unfortunately, while we know how to make those systems much more capable, we don't know how to make them safe, how to make sure they don't do something we will regret. And that's the state of the art right now. Then we look at just prediction markets. How soon will we get to advanced AI? The timelines are very short, couple of years, 2-3 years, according to prediction markets, according to CEOs of top labs. And at the same time, We don't know how to make sure that the systems are aligned with our preferences.
Wow.
So
Alex
we're
spoke
creating
about a
this
lot of this.
alien intelligence. If aliens were coming to Earth and you had 3 years to prepare, you would be panicking right now. But most people don't even realize this is happening.
So some of the counter arguments might be, well, these are very, very smart people. These are very big companies with lots of money. They have a obligation and a moral obligation, but also just a legal obligation to make sure they do no harm. So I'm sure it'll be fine.
The only obligation they have is to make money for the investors. That's the legal obligation they have. They have no moral or ethical obligation.
I just said that, Frank. I didn't see this
they don't know
video.
how to do it yet. The state-of-the-art answers are, we'll figure it out when we get there, or AI will help us control more advanced AI. That's insane.
In terms of probability, what do you think is the probability that something goes catastrophically wrong?
So nobody can tell you for sure what's going to happen. But if you're not in charge, you're not controlling it, you will not get outcomes you want. The space of possibilities is almost infinite. The space of outcomes we will like is tiny.
And who are you and how long have you been working on this?
I'm a computer scientist by training. I have a PhD in computer science and engineering. I probably started work in AI safety, mildly defined as control of bots at the time, 15 years ago.
15 years ago? So you've been working on AI safety before it was cool?
Before the term existed, I coined the term AI safety.
So you're the founder of the term AI safety?
The term, yes, not the field. There are other people who did brilliant work before I got there.
Why were you thinking about this 15 years ago? Because most people have only been talking about the term AI safety for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it started very mildly just as a security project. I was looking at poker bots. And I realized that the bots are getting better and better. And if you just project this forward enough, they're going to get better than us, smarter, more capable. And it happened. They are playing poker way better than average players. But more generally, it will happen with all other domains, all the other cyber resources. I wanted to make sure AI is a technology which is beneficial for everyone. So I started work on making AI safer.
Was there a particular moment in your career where you thought, oh my God?
First 5 years at least, I was working on solving this problem. I was convinced we can make this happen, we can make safe AI. And that was the goal. But the more I looked at it, the more I realized every single component of that equation is not something we can actually do. And the more you zoom in, it's like a fractal. You go in and you find 10 more problems, and then 100 more problems. And all of them are not just difficult, they're impossible to solve. There is no seminal work in this field where, like, we solved this, we don't have to worry about this. There are patches. There are little fixes we put in place, and quickly people find ways to work around them. They jailbreak whatever safety mechanisms we have. So while progress in AI capabilities is exponential, or maybe even hyper-exponential, progress in AI safety is linear or constant. The gap is increasing.
The gap between
how capable the systems are and how well we can control them, predict what they're going to do, explain their decision making.
I think this is quite an important point because you said that we're basically patching over the issues that we find. So we're developing this core intelligence, and then to stop it doing things, or to stop it showing some of its unpredictability or its threats, the companies that are developing this AI are programming in code over the top to say, okay, don't swear, don't say that rude word, don't do that bad thing.
Exactly. And you can look at other examples of that. So HR manuals, right? We have those humans, they're general intelligences, but you want them to behave in a company.
Hey,
so they have a
back.
policy. No sexual harassment.
We just gonna
no
go
this,
full
no
audio.
That. But if you're smart enough, you always find a workaround. So you're just pushing behavior into a different, not yet restricted subdomain.
It's worth considering.
Well, you should probably
I'm not saying you gotta
terms
believe
here.
everything
So
that
there's narrow
he's
intelligence,
saying,
which can play chess,
but
there's
just
artificial
open
general
up your
intelligence,
mind
which can
to the
operate across domains, and then
possibilities,
super intelligence,
friends.
which is
I
smart
know
in
you're
all
so
humans in all
entrenched
domains.
and ingrained
And where are we?
in the matrix.
So that's
but
a very
friends, listen.
fuzzy boundary,
time
right?
to
We
wake
definitely
up.
have many
All right,
excellent
friends,
narrow
it's
systems,
audio
no question
time.
about it, and they are super intelligent in
Thank you
that
for
narrow
being here,
domain. So,
y'all. Subscribe to my
protein
channel.
folding is a
Like,
problem which was
share,
solved using narrow
subscribe,
AI, and it's
subscribe,
superior to all
comment down
humans in that domain.
below. I love to
In
hear
terms of
your
AGI,
thoughts,
again, I said, if we
your
showed what we have
questions, your
today to a
feelings.
scientist from
There's no
20 years ago,
judgment.
they would be
This
convinced we
is
have
New
full-blown
Life
AGI.
Revolution.
We have systems which can learn, they can perform in hundreds of domains, and they're better than human in many of them. So you can argue we have a weak version of AGI. No, we don't have super intelligence yet. We still have brilliant humans who are completely dominating AI, especially in science and engineering. But that gap is closing so fast. You can see, especially in the domain of mathematics. 3 years ago, large language models couldn't do basic algebra. Multiplying 3-digit numbers was a challenge. Now they're helping with mathematical proofs. They're winning mathematics Olympiads, competitions. They are working on solving millennial problems, hardest problems in mathematics. So in 3 years, we closed the gap from subhuman performance to better than most mathematicians in the world. And we see the same process happening in science and in engineering.
You have made assumptions. They correspond to a variety of different dates, and I have those dates in front of me here. What is your prediction for the year 2027?
We're probably looking at AGI as predicted by prediction markets and tops of the labs.
So we'd have artificial general intelligence by 2027. And how would that make the world different to how it is now?
So if you have this concept of a drop-in employee, you have free labor, physical and cognitive, trillions of dollars of it. It makes no sense to hire humans for most jobs. If I can just get, a $20 subscription or a free model to do what an employee does, first, anything on a computer will be automated. And next, I think humanoid robots are maybe 5 years behind. So in 5 years, all the physical labor can also be automated. So we're looking at a world where we have levels of unemployment we've never seen before. I'm not talking about 10% unemployment, which is scary, but 99%. All you have left is jobs where, for whatever reason, you prefer another human would do it for you. But anything else can be fully automated. It doesn't mean it will be automated in practice. A lot of times, technology exists, but it's not deployed. Video phones were invented in the 70s. Nobody had them until iPhones came around. So we may have a lot more time with jobs and with world which looks like this. But capability to replace most humans and most occupations will come very quickly.
Okay, so let's try and drill down into that and stress test it. So, a podcaster like me, would you need a podcaster like me?
So let's look at what you do. You prepare,
Yeah.
you ask questions, you ask follow-up questions, and you look good on camera.
Thank you so much.
Let's see what we can do.
Hey, pause.
Large language model today can easily
Man.
read everything
Another man. No, I'm kidding, y'all.
Understanding.
Another man can give another man compliments. And that's wrong with today's society.
Oh, another man can't say another man look good. Oh, that's weird. That's strange.
Shut up, you moron.
Worked really well, like this type of question.
And it's the same people saying that, they're operating from the lowest level of engagement that you would ever know.
You can, because you don't have the data set.
Believe
Of
that.
course, visual simulations
Believe
TV at
that.
this point.
They
So
don't
can you
even know
make a
any
video in
better.
seconds of me
You
sat here
you
and-
almost gotta feel sorry for people, and that's not to be like condescending, but you do. People are very ignorant. People are very
Likeness, approval, whatever.
unintelligent. I mean,
Are
that's
there
just
many
reality.
jobs that you think would remain in a world of AGI? If you're saying it's going to be here, whether it's deployed or not, by 2027, what kind? And then, okay, so let's take out of this any physical labor jobs for a second. Are there any jobs that you think a human would be able to do better in a world of AGI still?
So that's the question I often ask people. In a world with AGI, and I think almost
This
immediately
is
we'll get
Dr.
superintelligence as a side effect.
I'm sorry,
So the
Dr.
question really is, in a
Roman
world of
Yampolsky.
superintelligence, which is defined
Dr.
as
Roman
better than all humans in all
Yampolsky.
domains, what can you
This is the
contribute?
diary of a CEO.
And so you know better than anyone what it's like to
These
be
are
you.
the 5
You know
jobs
what
that
ice
will
cream tastes to
remain
you.
in
Can you get paid for
2030.
that knowledge? Is someone
Okay, this
interested in
is the
that?
title of the video.
Maybe not a big market.
The platform,
There
the
are jobs
diary
where you
of a
want a
CEO.
human. Maybe you're rich and you want a human
Dr.
accountant for whatever
Roman
historic reasons.
Yampolsky.
Old people like traditional ways of doing things. Warren Buffett would not switch to AI, he would use his human accountant. But it's a tiny subset of a market. Today we have products which are man-made in US as opposed to mass-produced in China. And some people pay more to have those. But it's a small subset. It's almost a fetish. There is no practical reason for it. And I think anything you can do on a computer could be automated using the technology.
You must hear a lot of rebuttals to this when you say it, because people experience a huge amount of mental discomfort when they hear that their job, their career, the thing they got a degree in, the thing they invested $100,000 into is going to be taken away from them. So their natural reaction, for some people, is that cognitive dissonance that, no, you're wrong, AI can't be creative, it's not this, it's not that. It'll never be interested in my job. I'll be fine because. You hear these arguments all the time, right?
It's really funny. I ask people, and I ask people in different occupations. I'll ask my Uber driver, are you worried about self-driving cars? And they go, no. No one can do what I do. I know the streets of New York. I can navigate like no AI. I'm safe. And it's true for any job. Professors are saying this to me. Oh, nobody can lecture like I do. Like, this is so special. But you understand it's ridiculous. We already have self-driving cars replacing drivers. That is not even a question if it's possible. It's like, how soon before you're fired?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been in LA yesterday, and my car drives itself. So I get in the car, I put in where I want to go, and then I don't touch the steering wheel or the brake pedals, and it takes me from A to B, even if it's an hour-long drive without any intervention at all. I actually still park it, but other than that, I'm not driving the car at all. And obviously in LA we also have Waymo now, which means you order it on your phone, and it shows up with no driver in it and takes you to where you want to go.
Oh, yeah.
So.
No driver in the seat, friends.
It's quite clear to see how that is potentially a matter of time.
Not one driver in the
For
seat.
those people, because we do have some of those people listening to this conversation right now, that their occupation is driving, to offer them and I think driving is the biggest occupation in the world, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure it is the biggest occupation in the world.
One of the top ones, yeah.
What would you say to those people? What should they be doing with their lives? Should they be retraining in something, or what time frame?
So that's the paradigm shift here. Before we always said this job is going to be automated, retrained to do this other job. But if I'm telling you that all jobs will be automated, then there is no plan B. You cannot retrain. Look at computer science. 2 years ago, we told people, learn to code. You are an artist, you cannot make money, learn to code. Then we realized, oh, AI kind of knows how to code and getting better. Become a prompt engineer. You can engineer prompts for AIs. It's going to be a great job. Get a 4-year degree in it. But then we're like, AI is way better at designing prompts for other AIs than any human. So that's gone. So I can't really tell you right now the hardest thing is design AI agents for practical applications. I guarantee you in a year or two, it's going to be gone just as well. So I don't think there is this occupation needs to learn to do this instead. I think it's more like we as a humanity, then we all lose our jobs. What do we do? What do we do financially? Who's paying for us? And what do we do in terms of meaning? What do I do with my extra 60, 80 hours a week?
You've thought around this corner, haven't you?
A little bit.
Imagine being able.
All right, friends, this is commercial, so
Your name on
I'm
it,
gonna skip it,
just by
and
thinking
we're gonna
about
come back. This
it.
is some good
Meatbase
stuff,
44,
friends. I mean,
a
I
complete
know I'm
AI
gonna go
creation
back and
platform.
watch the video again
What is
because I
around
gotta
that
take
corner,
notes.
in your view?
I can't take notes
So the
while I'm
economic
holding, but I'm
labor,
gonna
you have a
watch
lot of
this
free
video
wealth,
again and I'm gonna
abundance,
take my
things
notes.
which are right now not very affordable become dirt cheap,
out
and
to
so you can
everybody on
provide
the
for everyone
live.
basic needs. Some people say you
New
can
Life
provide beyond basic
Revolution.
needs, you can provide very good existence for everyone. The hard problem is, what do you do with all that free time? For a lot of people, their jobs are what gives them meaning in their life, so they would be kind of lost. We see it with people who retire or do early retirement. And for so many people who hate their jobs, they'll be very happy not working. But now you have people who are chilling all day. What happens to society? How
He
does that
said you got
impact
people chilling
crime
all
rates,
day.
pregnancy rate, all sorts of issues? Nobody thinks about. Governments don't have programs prepared to deal with 99% unemployment.
Wow. You heard that?
What do you think that world looks like?
99% unemployment. What would that look
I
like?
think
Are you gonna be
a
doing?
very important part to understand here is the unpredictability of it. We cannot predict what a smarter than us system will do. And the point when we get to that is often called singularity, by analogy with physical singularity. You cannot see beyond the event horizon. I can tell you what I think might happen, but that's my prediction. It is not what actually is going to
singularity
happen.
is the
because I just
hypothetical
don't have
moment
cognitive
when
ability to
AI
predict how much
surpasses
smarter
human intelligence.
agents impacting this
At
world.
this point,
Then you read science fiction.
I hope y'all
There is
got
never
that,
a super
friends. I
intelligence
hope y'all
in
took
it
a
actually
screenshot,
doing anything,
because
because
I'm
nobody
definitely
can
going
write
back
believable
and I'm
science
gonna take
fiction
my
at that
notes and
level.
I'm gonna get
They
all of
either
that
banned
info.
AI, like Dune, because this way you can avoid writing about it, or it's like Star Wars. You have this really dumb bots, but nothing super intelligent ever. Because by definition, you cannot predict at that level.
Because by definition of it being super intelligent, it will make its own mind up.
By definition, if it was something you could predict, you would be operating at the same level of intelligence, violating our assumption that it is smarter than you. If I'm
Wow.
playing chess with superintelligence and I can predict every move, I'm playing at that level.
It's kind of like my French bulldog trying to predict exactly what I'm
This
thinking
is
and what I'm going to
deep,
do.
my
That's a good
divine
cognitive gap. And
ones.
it's not just he can predict you going to work, you coming back, but he cannot understand why you're doing a podcast. That is something completely outside of his model of the world.
Yeah, he doesn't even know that I go to work. He just sees that I leave the house and doesn't know where I go.
Buy food for him.
What's the most persuasive argument against your own perspective here?
That we will not have unemployment due to advanced technology?
That there won't be this French bulldog human gap in understanding and, I guess, like power and control.
So some people think that we can enhance human minds either through combination with hardware, so something like Neuralink, or
Yeah.
through
And
genetically
that's
engineering to where we make
that's
smarter
our
humans.
guy.
Yeah.
That's Elon
It
Musk with
may
the
give
Neuralink.
us a little more intelligence. I don't think
Do
we're
your
still
research on
competitive in
Neuralink,
biological
friends.
form with
Remember
silicon
that
form.
term,
Silicon
Neuralink.
substrate is much more capable for intelligence. It's faster, it's more
Neurolink,
resilient, more energy
Neuralink.
efficient in many ways.
Which is what computers are made out of versus
Exactly.
the brain. Yeah.
So I don't think we can keep up just with improving our biology. Some people think maybe, and this is very speculative, we can upload our minds into computers. So scan your brain, current comb of your brain, and have a simulation running on a computer.
That's
And you can
giving
speed it
total
up, give
recall.
it more capabilities. But to me, that feels like you no longer exist. We just created software by different means,
that's-
and now you
that's-
have AI
that's-
based on
That
biology
had-
and AI based on
a lot of those
some other forms
pretenses
of
were
training. You can
in
have
the movie
evolution and
Total
algorithms.
Recall.
You can have many paths to reach
Arnold
AGI.
Schwarzenegger.
But at the end, none of them are humans.
I have another date here, which is 2030. What's your prediction for 2030? What will the world look like?
So we probably will have humanoid robots with enough flexibility, dexterity to compete with humans in all domains, including plumbers. We can make artificial plumbers.
Not the plumbers, where that felt like the last bastion of human employment. So 2030, 5 years from now, humanoid robots, so many of the companies, the leading companies, including Tesla, are developing humanoid robots at light speed, and they're getting increasingly more effective. These humanoid robots will be able to move through physical space, make an omelette, do anything humans can do, but obviously be connected to AI as well. So they can think, talk,
Right, they're controlled by AI, they're always connected to the network, so they're already dominating in many ways.
Our world will look remarkably
You already
different
said they're already
when
dominating in
robots
many
are
ways,
functional and
friends.
effective. Because that's really when, I start thinking, right, like the combination of intelligence and physical ability is really doesn't leave much, does it, for us human beings?
Not much. So today, if you have intelligence through internet, you can hire humans to do your bidding for you. You can pay them in Bitcoin, so you can have bodies just not directly controlling them. So it's not a huge game changer to add direct control of physical bodies. Intelligence is where it's at. The important component is definitely higher ability to optimize, to solve problems, to find patterns people cannot see.
And then by 2045, I guess the world looks even more, which is 20 years from now.
So if it's still around,
If it's still around.
Ray Kurzweil predicts that that's the year for the singularity. That's the year where progress becomes so fast. So this AI doing science and engineering work makes improvements so quickly we cannot
I
keep
might
up anymore.
be
That's
close
the
to my
definition of
grave in
singularity, point beyond which we
2045.
cannot see, understand, predict.
See and understand, predict the intelligence itself, or
I'll
What is
be
happening in the world? The
85.
technology is being developed. So right
mean,
now, if I have an iPhone,
You're
I can
talking
look
about being
forward to a new one
85
coming
in
out next year,
45 years
and I'll
from
understand
now.
it has slightly
No,
better
I'm sorry,
camera.
I'm 45
Imagine
now.
now this
I'll be
process
90.
of researching and developing this phone is automated.
If
It
the
happens every
universe
6 months,
so
every 3
grants
months,
me
every month, week,
that
day, hour,
time,
minute, second.
if the
You cannot keep
divine
up with 30
so
iterations of iPhone in
sees
one
it
day.
so
You
for
don't
me
understand
to
what
be
capabilities
on
it
this
has,
physical
what
3D plane for
proper controls
45
are.
more
It
years.
just escapes you. Right
Wow,
now, it's hard
that's
for
astounding.
any researcher in AI to keep up with the state of the art. While I was doing this interview with you, a new model came out, and I no longer know what the state of the art is. Every day, as a percentage of total knowledge, I get dumber. I may still know more because I keep reading, but as a percentage of overall knowledge, we're all getting dumber.
Wow.
And when you take it to extreme values, you have zero knowledge, zero understanding of the world around you.
Wow.
some of the arguments
Tap
against
into it,
this
friends. We
eventuality
got
are that
understanding.
when you look at other
We are new
technologies
life
like
for
the Industrial
evolution,
Revolution,
friends.
people
We
just found
above
new
the
ways
fray. Yeah.
to
Yeah, we
to
are cut
work
above the rest.
and new careers that we could never have
It's
imagined at the
giving
time were
ahead of the
created.
class.
How do you
Yeah,
respond
no
to that in a world
pun.
of superintelligence?
Yeah.
It's a paradigm shift. We always had tools, new tools, which allowed some job to be done more efficiently. So instead of having
Those
10
that
workers, you could
know,
have 2 workers,
know.
and 8 workers
Those
had to
that
find a new job.
don't know,
And there was another job now. You can
tap in.
supervise those
Tap
workers
in,
or do something
friends.
cool.
This
If you're
is the best time of
creating
your
a
life.
meta invention,
If
you're
you're on
inventing
this
intelligence,
platform,
you're
consider
inventing a
yourself
worker, an agent,
quite
then
fortunate.
you can apply that agent to the new
As do
job.
I.
There is not a job which cannot be automated. That never happened before. All the inventions we previously had were kind of a tool for doing something. So we invented fire, huge game changer. But that's it, it stops with fire. We invent a wheel, same idea, huge implications, but wheel itself is not an inventor. Here we're inventing a replacement for human mind, a new inventor capable of doing new inventions. It's the last invention we ever have to make. At that point, it takes over. And the process of doing science, research, even ethics research, morals, all that is automated at that point.
Do you sleep well at night?
Really well.
Even though you spent the last 15, 20 years of your life working on AI safety, and it's suddenly among us in a way that I don't think anyone could have predicted 5 years ago. When I say among us, I really mean that the amount of funding and talent that is now focused on reaching superintelligence faster has made it feel more inevitable and more soon than any of us could have possibly imagined.
We as humans have this built-in bias about not thinking about really bad outcomes and things we cannot prevent. So all of us are dying. Your kids are dying, your parents are dying, everyone's dying, but you still sleep well, you still go on with your day. Even 95-year-olds are still doing games and playing golf and whatnot, because we
I
have this
just said
ability to not
95,
think about
friends. This
the
is
worst outcomes,
this is how you know
especially if we
spirit
cannot actually
confirms
modify the
truth.
outcome.
This
So
is
that's the
truth y'all
same
listening to. I just
infrastructure
said,
being used for
at
this.
first I
Yeah,
said
there is
85. I realized I'm
humanity
45, and in
level
45 years I'll be
death-like
90.
event.
And he
We're
just said
happening
90.
to be
This
close
is
to it
spirit's
probably,
confirmation,
but
y'all.
unless I can do
This is
something
something
about it, I
serious,
can just
y'all.
keep
Take heed.
enjoying my life. In fact, maybe knowing that you have limited amount of time left gives you more reason to have a better life. You cannot waste any.
And that's the survival trait of evolution, I guess, because those of my ancestors that spent all their time worrying wouldn't have spent enough time having babies and hunting to
It's
survive.
suicidal ideation. People who really start thinking about how horrible the world is usually escape pretty soon.
Wow.
You co-authored this paper analyzing the key arguments people make against the importance of AI safety. And one of the arguments in there is that there's other things that are of bigger importance right now. It might be world wars, it could be nuclear containment, it could be other things. There's other things that the governments and podcasters like me should be talking about that are more important. What's your rebuttal to that argument?
So superintelligence is a meta solution. If we get superintelligence right, it will help us with climate change, it will help us with wars, it can solve all the other existential risks. If we don't get it right, it dominates. If climate change will take 100 years to boil us alive and superintelligence kills everyone in 5, I don't have to worry about climate change. So either way, either it solves it for me or it's not an issue.
So you think it's the most important thing to be working on?
Without question, there is nothing more important than getting this right. And I know everyone says it. You take any class, but you take English professor's class, and he tells you this is the most important class you'll ever take. But you can see the meta level differences with this one.
Another argument in that paper is that we'll be in control and that the danger is not AI. This particular argument asserts that AI is just a tool. Humans are the real actors that present danger, and we can always maintain control by simply turning it off. Can't we just pull the plug out? I see that every time we have a conversation on the show about AI. Someone says, can't we just unplug it?
Yeah, I get those comments on every podcast I make, and I always want to get in touch with a guy and say, this is brilliant. I never thought of it. We're going to write a paper together and get a Nobel Prize for it. This is let's do it. Because it's so silly. Can you turn off a virus? You have a computer virus, you don't like it, turn it off. How about Bitcoin? Turn off Bitcoin network. Go ahead, I'll wait.
This
is silly.
Yahoo
Those are
is
distributed
talking
systems.
stuff.
You cannot
No
turn them off. And on top of it,
disrespect.
they're smarter than you. They made multiple backups. They predicted what you're going to do. They will turn you off before you can turn them off.
Yes.
The idea that we will be in control applies only to pre-superintelligence levels, basically what we have today. Today, humans with AI tools are dangerous.
Are in
They can be
control.
hackers,
But
malevolent
in 30
actors.
years from
Absolutely.
now?
But the moment superintelligence becomes smarter, dominates, they no longer the important part of that equation. It is the higher intelligence I'm concerned about, not the human who may add additional malevolent payload, but at the end still doesn't control it.
Donald Trump
There y'all go. Commercial time. Y'all, I hope y'all listening, friends. This stuff is super deep, super relevant, super necessary. This is higher consciousness, friends. In a form, in a way that is so readily available. In a way that you look and think it's insane, it's crazy, it's conspiracy theories. And that's what is, I would say the most disappointing. That many of let me rephrase that, many divine souls out there, first and foremost, don't even know that they're divine. Therein lies the problem, right? And so when you don't know what you are, then you will believe anything. You would take on any persona. You would accept any doctrine, any teaching that tells you this is what you are. But for those that are willing to be brave, that are willing to let go, willing to reject the teachings, even from their mom and dads, grandparents, aunts, and uncles who were not of higher consciousness. I'm speaking this from my own experience. My mom, dad, they didn't have this higher consciousness. They did not. And so I'm the first in my family to understand and know what real life is, not reality, which is real lies to you, okay? Real life, outside of the matrix. Most of you, that's all you know is the matrix. You're so ingrained. You're so very much bought in that the truth sounds ridiculous, and the lies and the misinformation that you have deemed relevant, purposeful truth, this is what has you right now lost. You are the lost tribe of America, if you are in America. I'm sorry, friends. I just had to digress, and it's no shame. If you are, there's truth here. This is New Life Raw Evolution. There's truth. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday to everyone. If you're listening to this broadcast, happy Friday. Divine light, blessings, peace, healing, and abundance to you. You are resistance. Let's get back to the content. Okay, friends? All right.
Jack Chittarelli, 100%
Let me skip this commercial on YouTube. That seeks to take me from the point of view.
You avoid trouble.
No, I'm sorry, friends. Back in the day, I think that they had to pay the bills. Well, pay the
With
bills.
fair warning.
And now I'm moving on. All right,
It is
friends, give me a
tempting
second. We're going to listen to the
to
content, and
follow
then
the next argument that I saw in
I'll
that paper,
cam
which
back
basically
up
says,
and
listen,
give y'all the
this is
visuals.
inevitable.
Give me 1 second,
So
friends.
there's no point fighting against it because
Shout
there's
out
really
to
no hope
everyone
here.
on the
So we
live.
should probably give up even trying and be faithful that it'll work itself out. Because everything you've said sounds really inevitable. And if with China working on it, I'm sure Putin's got some secret division. I'm sure Iran are doing some bits and pieces. Every European country's trying to get ahead of AI. The United States is leading the way. So it's inevitable. So we probably should just have faith and pray.
Praying is always good, but incentives matter. If you are looking at what drives these people, so yes, money is important. So there is a lot of money in that space, and so everyone's trying to be there and develop this technology. But if they truly understand the argument, they understand that you will be dead. No amount of money will be useful to you. Then incentives switch. They would want to not be dead. A lot of them are young people, rich people. They have their whole lives ahead of them. I think they would be better off not building advanced superintelligence, concentrating on narrow AI tools for solving specific problems. Okay, my company cures breast cancer. That's all. We make billions of dollars. Everyone's happy. Everyone benefits. It's a win. We are still in control today. It's not over until it's over. We can decide not to build general superintelligences.
That's
I mean, the United States might be able to conjure up enough enthusiasm for that. But if the United States doesn't build general superintelligences, then China are going to have the big advantage now.
So right now, at first level, whoever has more advanced AI has more advanced military. No question, we see it with existing conflicts. But the moment you switch to superintelligence, uncontrolled superintelligence, it doesn't matter who builds it, us or them. And if they understand this argument, they also would not build it. It's a mutually assured destruction on both ends.
Is this technology different than, say, nuclear weapons, which require a huge amount of investment and you have to enrich the uranium and billions of dollars potentially to even build a nuclear weapon? But it feels like this technology is much cheaper
feel the
to
same,
get to
just
super
come
intelligence
back to
potentially,
me.
or at least it will become
I
cheaper.
miss you.
I wonder if
I'm
it's
sorry,
possible that
friends.
some guy,
I
some
just got
startup
a
is going to be able to
early
build super
2000
intelligence
wow
in a couple of years without the need of
flashback.
billions of dollars of compute or electricity power.
Was that
That's a great
Uncle
point. So
Cracker?
every year it becomes cheaper
I
and
can't
cheaper to
remember
train
the group,
sufficiently
the
large
band that
model.
sang
If
that.
today it would take $1 trillion to build superintelligence, next year it could be 100 billion and so on. At some point, a guy on a laptop could do it. But you don't want to wait 4 years to make it affordable. So that's why so much money is pouring in. Somebody wants to get there this year and lucky in all the winnings, Litecoin level of work. So in that regard, they both very expensive projects, like Manhattan level projects. The difference between the two technologies is that nuclear weapons are still cool. Some dictator, some country, someone has to decide to use them, deploy them. Whereas superintelligence is not a tool; it's an agent. It makes its own decisions, and no one is controlling it. I cannot take out this dictator, and now superintelligence is safe. So that's a fundamental difference to me.
But if you're saying that it is going to get incrementally cheaper,
All
like
right,
I think
friends,
Moore's law,
I'm
isn't
about
it?
to have
The
to
technology
log
gets
off.
cheaper. It is. Then there is a future where able to create
We
super
gotta come
intelligence
back,
without
friends. I
oversight
gotta
or
do
regulation
another
or
video,
abuse,
this,
etc.
friends, to give
That's why a
y'all
lot
the
of
rest
people
of the
suggesting we need
content,
to build
the rest
something
of the
like
information. I'm gonna do 2 more minutes,
surveillance
friends, and
planet,
then I gotta
where
go.
you are monitoring who's doing what and you're trying to prevent people from doing it. Do I think it's feasible? No. At some point, it becomes so affordable and so trivial that it just will happen. But at this point, we're trying to get more time. We don't want it to happen in 5 years. We want it to happen in 50 years.
I mean, that's not very hopeful. So
Depends on how old you are.
depends on how old you are. I mean, if you're saying that you believe in the future people will be able to make super intelligence without the resources that are required today, then it is just a matter of time.
Yeah, but so will be true for many other technologies. We're getting much better in synthetic biology, where today someone with a bachelor's degree in biology can probably create a new virus. This will also become cheaper, other technologies like that. So we are approaching a point where it's very difficult to make sure no technological breakthrough is the last one. So essentially, in many directions, we have this pattern of making it easier in terms of resources, in terms of intelligence, to destroy the world. If you look at, 500 years ago, the worst dictator with all the resources could kill a couple million people. He couldn't destroy the world. Now we know nuclear weapons, we can blow up the whole planet multiple times over. Synthetic biology, we saw with COVID, you can very easily create a combination virus which impacts billions of people. And all of those things becoming easier to do.
In the near term, you talk about extinction being a real risk, human extinction being a real risk. Of all the pathways to human extinction that you think are most likely, what is the leading pathway? Because I know you talk about there being some issue pre-deployment of these AI tools, like, someone makes a mistake when they're designing a model, or other issues post-deployment. When I say post-deployment, I mean once a ChatGPT or something, an agent's released into the world and someone hacking into it and changing it and reprogramming it to be malicious. Of all these potential paths to human extinction, which one do you think is the highest probability?
So I can only talk about the ones I can.
All right, friends. I'm going to stop the video, the content right here. I'm going to do my very best to follow up and give you friends the rest of this content.